my video here to introduce you to the new Quant analytics service that I'm launching or have launched. The idea here is to give you a new set of viewing standards on the markets. So what we're talking about here is we're talking about trading is about your edge. That's what gives you and keeps you ahead of everybody else. Also, trading is about your technology. So where are we today as of December 2016 when I'm just creating this new membership? Basically, it's been 6 years of gathering the best trading ideas. Obviously, I've gathered some of the best software I can pull together. It's got over 300 algos, or will have 300 algos over long term. It's going to have obviously various strategies that have been developed over the years. In terms of my community, throughout my social media, my blogs, and my email, etc., I've got over 30,000 people. And most of all, I've got 800 unique visitors daily that visit my site here at quantlabs.net. Okay, so why analytics? Now, this is really important to understand that 6 years ago when I started this, I envisioned about just focusing on software technologies and platforms. But over the years, many new free quote-unquote competitors have come in. And what they're doing is they're lowering expectation of quality among trading newbies. With algo trading and HFT and all that becoming really popular, what's basically is doing, it's just basically making these so-called traders and so-called quants really lazy. It coddles them and it really lowers their expectation what they can and cannot do. And there's another set of people that I also identify over the years where all they're doing is just really chasing shiny toy, quick rich stuff, and they really go nowhere fast. The other thing that you probably hear me rant on about are just those that all they do is just chasing technical analysis charts of opportunities that have already passed before them. So what we're trying to do with this new analytics service is pull together all the best traders I've got in my community, make it really community based for pretty well the most driven traders out there who want to succeed or already profiting consistently. They also have to get there, they need to understand that there is a hard work ethic in play there. Most of all, this service is not about spoon feeding. It's not a spoon feeding process where we give you all the answers. You're going to get quick rich. Don't use this as a crutch, because it's not to be used as a crutch to become a so-called trader. The idea here is to get you off that daily hamster wheel. And the other thing is we don't want people to think like sheep. We just don't like those social robots. So also, what are we also going to offer is obviously trading signals in all universal asset classes. That's including options, forex, stocks, futures, and probably fixed income. I'm sure I missed something in there. The other thing we're going to do is a very deep analysis to offer a solid baseline and all analysis of truly how the markets flow. What I've noticed, I've always challenged people, and I ask them how, and they literally cannot, or they do not have the ability to quantify why the markets move the way they do. The other thing a lot of people seem to forget is about portfolio optimization with weighting and really tight risk management to really truly understand about risk and reward. Now, the other thing is, that I'm not really done yet, is to track every single trading position that this system will generate. Again, that will be that'll be added in due time once we get there. But let's talk about some other stuff. Now, the idea here is when you start using a service like this, the idea here is to give you basically freedom. We want you to be self-employed and to choose when and what you do. The other thing is we want to obviously give you prosperity. But most of all, we want to make sure you understand this is not some quick rich scheme kind of thing that you'd get in typical infomercials. Definitely not MLM or stupid cleaning toilet jobs. The other thing is it's really important is that we want you to contribute. Like you'll notice I'm saying we. That's how you make a difference. It's about making others have rich lives, your contribution, where you learn from others. And this makes this community much, much better. And basically you have to offer your trading ideas. Okay, so let me show you the dashboard here. And basically this is the dashboard. When you log in, you'll get this video here, front and center, talking about all this stuff. And it's really important you understand the philosophy of this, and you understand how the videos work. Now, this section, this dashboard is very simple. It's probably my simplest dashboard yet. I'm trying to keep it all pooled in one, literally a dashboard. The idea here is to give you, obviously, video tutorials. This is probably the first place you should go to learn about how everything works. So I would always start at the bottom, obviously giving you sentiment analysis, also basically how my strategies work, and give you understanding of how and why the charts that you'll see in this service, the logic behind them. So this is the place where you go to understand that. Also, if you come under here under events, this is fairly new that I've added to my blog. If you come to this section, what you'll find here is basically all my online events. Everything I do is online. And usually we offer, Mondays is the busy night, where we have a 6 o'clock, which is really for the public on some kind of topic. And at 8 o'clock, and again, this is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time, where anybody can come to these events. Also, we are going to have weekly events as well at 8 o'clock to talk about, in this case, we've got our online course for options and futures that will finish up soon. And then we move into, what's happening in the markets, but that's done as a membership, behind the paywall. Okay. So there's that. And of course, this is really important that you understand this. If people don't use this, you will lose this. This is a secure chat. Now, there's two ways I can approach this. Right now, this little chat room is very basic, but it enables people to talk to each other. And if people don't use this, I'm going to take this away. I've done this many times before, and this is where the contribution comes into play. People come in, check in, read about something, and then just basically post or view or whatever. And you can post attachments, videos, and emoticons if you want as well. All right, so that's really important. But if people don't use it, I'm going to take it away. Here is the FAQ section. Again, this is on my blog. Here, I feel like I'm showing home movies here. Here, you'll get all the video, all the different sections on my website. So, all the stuff you can learn about programming, questions, the courses, the Analytics Pro itself, and some of my data providers and all that. Some of this will be taken away over time as well, especially if it's relating to my older memberships. So be aware of that. All right, so the other thing that's really important, if you ever want to reverse engineer things that I do technically, this is the place you want to come. This is my YouTube channel video playlist. We've got, God, I don't know how many sections here, but it's enough. We talk about Python, Oanda, the tutorials we're going on about, interactive brokers, Redis, you name it, it's here, okay? JStock, blah, 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 okay? All the technical stuff. And if you really want to go, if you go to my YouTube channel overall, you have
access to how's your trading going?
Plus videos that I've been posting for the last 6 years. So now we get into the juicy stuff. I've broken it up into two sections. We got here what I call the features, and then we got here the asset classes. So let me go over the features first. Here is a set of categories that I call econometrics. And what you should take away from this, this is global forward-looking. So once I start using, let's say, my Forex strategy, this will be the section where I post all the central bank information. Everything's going to be forward-looking. So as an example, tentatively, again, because it's a fairly new membership as it goes, here on December 3rd, 2016. So in here, in the econometrics category, we've got here a variety of charts. And again, you can learn about these charts from the video tutorials that I talked about earlier. So here we got, in this section, you get typical analysis on Eurozone sentiment, all the different countries. where all the hot potential market sectors will be for Europe. We also got the the charts. I break it out by day when those get generated, and we do the same thing again for the U.S. where we have the Fed from the Fed, from the Federal Reserve, and on top of all the manufacturing charts. And these help determine what's happening in the global forex and currency markets, as well as these obviously have impact on the stock markets for each country. Okay, so I'll go into greater detail with that in another video. But this is where you get all that information. And again, I want to stress it's really important that you understand it's global forward looking. This is not today or what happened yesterday. We don't care about that rat crap. What we care about is where things are going. I always compare it to like hunting a duck. When you're going to shoot a duck in the sky, you either have a way to, most people will shoot the duck and where the duck is currently. It don't work like that. If you want to get that duck, you got to figure out where and shoot for the path and where the duck is going. And that's why we use forward-looking data. Now, also, it's really important that we've got another category here. I've talked about the Monday night events. I will be archiving all of those events here every Monday night as well, okay? So in here, you will get some past videos as well from those Monday night events, okay? So the two other charts are features that a lot of people really aren't leveraging that I'm consistently doing. People ask me, where do I get all my trading ideas? Well, I'm at a point now on Instagram where every day I'm going through the Bloomberg news app, and I'm really getting a solid understanding about patterns, about how money flows impacts one thing and another. This is where I post this information. All of it comes from the news app. Eventually, I want to get out of this and start posting my own charting on Instagram. Okay, but you got over right now almost 8,000 posts. It's a lot. I post about 30 a day. A paltry amount of followers, but that's okay. I don't care about that. All right, the next one that's really important is my Facebook group. Obviously, I leverage Facebook a lot. So this group is really important if you want to understand about programming. Okay, you need to be a member of Facebook to obviously get access to here. But here's the key. Right now, I've got pushing 8,700 members. Okay, that's a lot. Okay, and I get, God, maybe 10, 20 a day that join. And it's growing pretty quickly. So in here, you'll find all the latest contributions from a variety of people, including myself, programming, and whatever else is in here. If you want to be part of this, join it and lurk or actually give some feedback or contribute into this community because it's big, okay? And if you're looking for programmers, this is the place to be. Okay, so that is this section. Now again, these are buttons that will eventually over time be added to this membership as we grow, as we expand. Right now, everything's all about analysis, but you heard me mention about portfolio optimization and risk management and positions. All those buttons will be added as we get to those points where I start worrying about portfolio, about positions as the system comes alive and we start either testing it or actually live trading. All of that functionality will be added to this dashboard as we get to it, okay? And it'll be under one of these sections. But let's worry about that when we get there. Okay, so really important right now is the analysis. So I built out 4 asset classes. The first one is obviously stock and equity. Here, these are just examples. Now, the really big one that I want people to really take away from, that's probably really big, is this pair trading selection. Now, eventually, over time, this is on my blog because this is the first posting. Over time, what happens is you're going to get a really juicy file. Okay, right here under data. This is what you'll have access to. Now, let me just download it. Okay, so what this enables, this is just one of many strategies I'll be including. This is just an example because there's three major strategies that have been under development. There's a pair trading one for equity. There's also one for futures and options analysis, and then there's a separate one for forex trading, FX, global FX, and that's a macro event-driven strategy. So here we'll be providing you all the data for all the pairs, the stock pairs for the long and the short, based upon the market sector. So life insurance, lodging, it's on and on and on and on. But again, to understand all the different data, just come under here under the video tutorials, and then that will give you exactly all the different reports and charts that are available in this service, and you'll get all the detail on how they work in this section. Okay, so really important stuff. Okay, so that's the stocks, and I say equity as well because a lot of professionals and institutions primarily are using ETF now as a vehicle for investment because obviously hedge funds are underperforming, private equity is underperforming. So really, they're one of our last bastions for return is using ETFs. So we're going to track those as well, and they'll be found in this section. So we have here Forex. This is another big one. Nothing's been posted yet, so it's just a placeholder, but that's where you get all the FX stuff or Forex. Then we've broken it down further into futures and options. Okay. Again, this is part of the futures and options. And of course, in the futures, that includes the commodity because that's what we're going to be mostly focusing on. And that will have a direct impact in the stocks and equity. Okay. As an input value, as an input cost into how a lot of independent companies trade as well as sectors as well. And lastly is the options. Again, all I have is a placeholder there, but anything related around options will go in here as well. Okay, so that's pretty well the dashboard in essence. There's going to be a lot of data as well, but to keep up with it, just go into these video tutorials to go through everything because this service will overwhelm, and that's why I'm saying I'm going to be trying to figure out what is worthy and what's worth keeping and whatnot. Most people probably want everything and then use the power of the search to look for what you're wanting, okay? So that's pretty well the new service at a very high level, how it works at the very early stages of it. But this is as simple as it's going to get. It gives you complete overview of what is going to be part of this. Hopefully you'll like it, and hopefully you'll take advantage of what's provided. Talk to you later.